The pick ban phase has begun with DV on the blue, Nova on the red. It is a Sephora and Teamy taken away by DV. A Florentino with one more left remaining could potentially be an Elsu for Nova.
Yeah, that leaves so many power picks open. I mean, taken off. Sephora, Elsu, Richter, but we also have Varus open, right? It's going to be the first pick for Divine Vendetta, and very interesting draft. I mean, the Teamy being banned, though, not something we see very often.
No, but into a support player like Grizzly Q, it makes a lot of sense. Because Nova have been playing these power farm strategies, particularly with their side lane now being Sky. You really don't want them to be able to use that Teamy's passive to leverage extra gold gain. That's probably going to force that support Grizzly Q over onto an Annette. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that be a first pick.
Yeah, Tulin Annette looks so good right now. Again, Annette is a support that has range as a support, so she's going to do a lot of support for Tulin to dominate that mid lane.
Tulin, of course, we have seen Nova Esports do a large amount of early priority into Poseidon. He is one of the players of Nova that has not really changed too much. Tulin, Liliana, and they do make sure to get him as early as possible. It's not necessarily an Annette. Instead, it seems like they prefer the Richter, which will give the Varus Annette combination over to Divine.
I really am not a massive fan of the Richter, but so here's the big deal. In any other matchup, I'd say, yeah, you get the Richter first cycle. The problem is, Annette Varus is actually a really good duo because Wind Cuffs stuns people for so long that the Varus can land her own stuns on top of that.
That is a pretty deadly combo, so we could see an Annette showing up there because she's such a top support for her kit and her range that she provides as well, and a perfect CC ultimate ability, the Hurricane Wall. So let's see that Annette is going to come out, but it says it's going to be Liliana. Why Liliana?
Because they need an answer to Poseidon in mid, I think.
Yeah,
they're just terrified of being left behind there.
I also think that if they don't pick up the Liliana here, there will no doubt be a Liliana ban in the second phase. So they're securing themselves the early mid lane to get themselves the priority. They also feel more confident with getting something better in the side lane. It will be locked in, which means final pick of the first phase here left open for Nova.
My big question, though, isn't why the Liliana, but why the Ryoma? Because you can play the Ryoma in multiple places, and both Divine Vendetta and Nova Esports kind of share a jungler character pool. Vex also likes the same melee jungles that Mathroy likes, so the odds that Nova Esports were going to ban all of them out seem pretty low.
Again, another priority coming out here, though, for Nova, the same way where Divine Vendetta wants the Liliana to make sure it doesn't get banned in the second phase. Nova wants to make sure that they lock themselves down a solid JK. Kidding! It's not going to be a Talanis, it's going to be an Annette, which means a Richter side lane is going to be coming out here for Nova.
Yeah, Richter side lane for sure, because if you pick the Talanis, then you could put yourself at risk. They can jungle Roma and pick a Max in the side lane, so there's some counters that can pick into that, and that makes so much more sense because she gives so much pressure in the mid lane along with Tulin there. And Talanis will be taken off the map, so I feel a lot of ADC bans are going to come out here.
Talanis, as well as the potential Wisp, could be an opportunity. Z being the large Wisp player that you were talking about earlier, TJ. Now Divine Vendetta has an opportunity to ban out themselves some side laners as well as potential junglers. Lindis, we know the only remaining marksman in the jungle that's still viable, gets taken off the board.
I would be somewhat cautious banning out anything other than the Lindis as a marksman, though, from Divine Vendetta, because Nova Esports aren't going to run a marksman in jungle. They're going to run one side lane. So if you only leave one up, Nova get the first pick out of the second ban phase. They'll grab whatever it is for Sky, and then they'll leave you without a key character. And that's why I think Nova are letting this Wisp through to pick it.
It is scary to think about, though, because Sky's biggest impact that he made when he was on the Cream roster was his side lane pressure in that marksman. Him now being on diversifies the potential compositions that Nova can bring out.
Yeah, look at it. All 4 ADC bans there. Morin, Wisp is the only one left, right?
If they ban this Morin, Nova just pick Wisp and then they win.
But they have Joker. I mean, Joker could work out here, you know, against the Wisp. It depends. I think it's more of a skill matchup at that point. But Wisp and Joker are looking like the 2 next best ADCs to pick from this heavy ADC focus ban here.
I feel like Nova can just pick Wisp, and then Divine Vendetta don't have a good answer because, yeah, they have the Joker.
Sky's only played Wisp once or twice in the Valor series.
But Z has never played Joker.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Of course I'm not wrong.
It's not that you're not right, but you're not wrong.
And
Wisp gets locked in. The Prodigal predictor, prophet. No, you're not a prophet.
However,
the three characters that Zia's played are all removed from her pool.
You can side lane the Roma, pick like a really good assassin, right? Maybe potentially
like a Valheim?
Valheim is going to be side lane. He's not going to be playing assassin, but you can still flex your Roma side. But it looks like they're not going to do that. They're going to go ahead and pick up the Valheim to match, and then end up with support. There's Baldwin. You know, there's some good supports left, and that's going to probably be Crusher Baldwin here.
I'm getting flashbacks of AP Valheim and the burst days that he used to create for us. Now we're getting ourselves a little bit of a hover from Divine Vendetta, trying to figure out exactly what they want. We saw the Joker.
Violet.
I believe in Violet side lane. You could do that.
Yeah, Violet could work side lane.
I think this Valheim would be a mistake unless it is something whack. If we do see some crazy cool stuff, but otherwise the Wisp just outlanes it.
Yeah, because also Varys isn't like a very high burst. It's a high sustain, get in your face hero, but you need a lot more burst with the Liliana burst, right? Ryoma will get the burst once he gets to that late game build, but Valheim isn't a naturally bursty hero. He's more CC with Varys.
And DV struggle if they get to the late game because that Valheim falls off. So Varys, a more late game character, Ryoma, more late game character. I would say the inverse is true for Valheim and Liliana.
They do have the Bennett as well. We have to make sure we highlight the other fourth pick that they, or the fourth pick that they were able to create for themselves. They have an extra ounce of team fighting potential as well as the CC that they provide. But now Nova, with 1 pick remaining in 15 seconds, get to decide how they want to round out this comp.
They can do anything. The world is their oyster.
Cricknack gets locked in for Vex.
They had a ton of options there. I think the best option would have been a Nacroth, personally. But I'm just a big fan of his Nacroth because it would have allowed them to get into the backlines. I think against a Varys, they wanted a little bit more burst and a little bit less mobility.
I will give them credit with the Cricknack, though, because Cricknack and the power that he does provide in the early to mid-game could potentially force Vex to change his playstyle. We've been extremely critical of Vex over the last few weeks, explicitly because of his desire to power farm in the jungle and not show pressure across the map. Having someone like a Cricknack available could potentially change up that style. Yeah,
and Cricknack and Richter are such a good duo together because they can actually move across the map very quickly across the river, especially when Cricknack gets that level 4 drone drop. He has an extra speed boost. And don't forget, mid lane control is going to fall on the side of Nova because Annette and Tulin are going to put so much pressure against Liliana and Bennett in the early game.
I think Divine Vendetta needed divine intervention. I don't see any other way for them to turn this round.
You're allowed one more divine joke over the course of the next best of 2. That's it.
I already did mine.
Oh, no, I'm not. You're done. You get one more. That's it. Just letting you know right now. That's all I got.
I had something for that, but I'm not gonna push my limit yet.
That's
fine.
Saving.
Yeah, but let's look at the comp. Ryoma's strong early. Bennett is strong early. Valheim, Varys, okay. Bennett, you know, I don't see them really taking advantage of the early game, and that's what Divine Vendetta needs to do, because when Wisps and Cricknack come online, and with the Tulin, also Annette is one of the strong supports late game too. It's going to be a really tough game for Divine Intervention to really come back, because they're going to have to rely solely on that Liliana in the late game.
Regardless of the compositions, though, we need to make sure to highlight the importance of Nova Esports' importance of their performance in this game. Sounds like a tongue twister, but it is the truth, because they have lost 5 of their last 6 games, one of which being to existence, the last place team in the Valor series. All is on the line with the new players. Nova, as well as Divine Vendetta, take the field.
2 new players, 2 games lost in the last 2. This needs to be a step up for Nova. Like you say, Divine Vendetta need to win this game 2-0 in order to come out on top. Keep themselves in the rankings for top 4.
The good news for Divine Vendetta is I do like how their comp synergizes together, because Ryoma has that stun, Bennett has CC, Liliana, Varys. You know, their entire composition can chain CC very effectively, and Valheim can initiate with his long-range CC as well, his long-range stun there. So they have some hope if they play their composition correctly.
Few up top though. Already bullied back. I think if Nova do lose this, it's because of a deficit they take during the early game. We saw with the last version of this composition that their weakest point was this early game, and there's a Valheim to play into it. Maybe DV can build up an early lead. Oh, not like that. Poseidon will have to get back. Faco's got the kill.
Wow, what a nice, that auto attack really did it there. And that is something that we actually saw, right? Nova played some compositions that really struggled in the early game, and they really shine in the mid to late game phase here. So they have to make sure they don't fall too behind in the early game, because that's going to give Divine Vendetta a lot of momentum and confidence as a team there because they're dominating Nova in the early game.
Yeah, not to go out too far on a limb, go for flashbacks. Last time we saw a bot lane ADC comp from Nova, they had Oxy instead of Sky playing Telenas, and we never got that Telenas online.
And look at this, the rotation from Divine Intervention 4 onto the Dragon, and they are able to take it. Nova doesn't really trade anything back, so this is looking really good for Divine Vendetta.
Very nicely done by DV to be able to lock down the early game. That's what we said they needed to start with. A few more towers, I think, would put them solidly in this game through mid-game.
Yeah, and look at these rotations. I love how Divine Vendetta has been rotating to Dragon, this 3-man rotation to that blue buff to prevent any type of gank or surprise attack by Nova there.
Mathroy caught out a little bit. There's nice Nature's Realm, though, stalling things up. 09 does good work. Mathroy needs to get out, but Vex is shut down. Few leaks in, is able to find the kill. Grizzly Q stalled up as well. The Riki shot hunting him down behind tower. He'll barely get out.
Yeah, 2 fights happening right in the mid-map. I was a little worried there that Divine Intervention was split focusing, but in the end, Fu came out with Varus there and landed that kill. So really nice job of locking down Vex. And that is going to be devastating because he's going to be now behind his rotation and it's going to give that map control to Divine Vendetta, which exactly they're going to abuse here and continue to put pressure in both lanes.
DV group up down bottom, looking for a way in, and they've got Grizzly Q just wandering into the bush. He has to spend the Hurricane Wall just to get out.
Wow, and the Reki shot barely misses there, but really nice aggressive posturing by Divine Vendetta, forcing Nova, like you said, to play defensive for the early part of this game. Things are looking pretty solid. Look at the rotations, the 3-man rotations together. They're doing a really good job to prevent anyone from getting caught out. And 09 so far has not been put himself in a really precarious position here that we saw from last week.
Yeah, we've really failed to see 09 overcommit or Nova really manage to lock down their own jungle. Only now do they manage to get enough of a hold on it that Divine Vendetta can't intervene in the farm.
Yeah, I like this. Look at it. Nova does a 5-man rotation, and you see Fu there also rotate down because you know his counterpart in the solo lane is gone. So he's going to rotate down to support the team in case Nova tries to invade the jungle. So again, the rotation and macro movements from Divine Vendetta have been really solid to counter what Nova wants to do, and they're playing super smart.
Very intelligent play, and it's setting them up for another Abyssal Dragon.
Yeah, and they're going to try to abuse it here, but look at this. There's 4 people in Nova on the Dragon side, so they do have good map awareness to contest and deny this Dragon, which is exactly what's going to happen.
But they're sacrificing during this time. Q does have pressure up top. Z, though, stunned out. Nice barrel bomb. Shock and all comes through. Z needs to flicker. Grizzly Q can't finish the kill alone. Z surely will get to safety. Excellently done to block Sky, but Poseidon, he comes through the back lines. He'll find an opening kill for Nova, shutting that down as Breaker grabs Mathroy up top.
Yeah, what a beautiful gank there. And they're also able to get the Dragon. I love that 2-2 rotation there. 2 in the front of the tower and 2 behind to secure the kill onto Z. And then you saw the opposite side of the map, Divine Vendetta tried to trade, but Richter, Nova, Darkbreaker doing such a good job disengaging, keeping himself safe and protecting the top lane.
The new additions to this team, Sky and Breaker, both beginning to pull their own weight, dragging Nova back into a game they'd started to fall behind in.
This is why Annette is so good with in solo lane there, able to really help lock down Z there, you notice, and he actually ate a lot of the damage from the shock and all, the ultimate from Wisp, raining down those rockets from above. That combo was so good, and that's the reason why they're able to get him very low, force him to use his flicker defensively and run away, and then their teammates then rotated to catch him on underneath tower.
Bot lane, you can see the pressure coming out from 09, but he's lingering, he's staying with Z, and unless Z changes their build, I feel this is a mistake. Ooh. Oh, Phew, caught out. Nice attempt to get away, but not even the Venom can save him. There isn't enough lifesteal in the world to keep you safe from that much burst. Yeah,
this is why those rotations matter there. Fu just put himself in a really tough spot, going down the river, getting basically collapsed 3 versus 1. His team's not there to help him. And as a result, he loses that. But Nova isn't able to convert this into any type of objectives.
Sky bullying Z down bottom. This is what we were talking about. That's just a bad matchup for the Valheim.
Yeah, definitely a bad matchup for that. He's actually doing well. He's actually a level ahead in the early game, but now we can see why Whis is prioritized over the Valheim now, because he's getting out-pressured, and look at the damage.
Oh, beautifully done. Breaker dives through, bullying Mathroy in his own jungle. Few tries to contest, but he just can't do it. Oh, and Vex, the drone drop. It keeps him safe from Vico. That can't have been planned.
Yeah, what a beautiful execution by Darkbreaker there. Richter using his Flicker's ultimate and everything.
No, Z's caught out. 09 can't save him. That'll be Sky grabbing another kill with his shock and awe.
Yeah, and this is going to be the tower here. Nice minion wave is going to support this push, and Sky is going to go ahead and take down the tower. So far already, Darkbreaker and Sky making a difference in this game. They're the two making the plays here in the side lanes.
Very well done by the two of them. Like you said, they were the players that were brought on. They were the players that had to prove they belonged on this top EU team. And so far, Nova Esports are definitely better off for their presence.
Yeah, you guys didn't see it earlier, but the way that Breaker was able to focus on Mathroy, he used his Flicker at the right moment, executed all of his combos on Richter, and just bursted down the Ryoma so quickly there. That's exactly what you want to do as Richter. He did such a good job with that gank.
Up top, you do have a little bit of a lingering presence from Breaker. He doesn't want to full commit into Few, I think. So he's been playing a little bit further back and just pushing wave when he sees a team fight going on the other side of the map.
And look at this, the mid lane, Nova is not able to put any pressure back here. Tulin is losing mid lane, not able to really spike, and as a result, Liliana is scaled up, and this is where Liliana outshines the Tulin. She has the range, she has the CC. Tulin is going to struggle a lot now in the late game because of Liliana being ahead.
Vico has to drift down here as all of Nova kind of group up towards mid. Divine Vendetta want to be able to leverage that bot lane pressure, but they don't have it anymore. It's a whisk to defend, and that's more than enough.
Yeah, they had to hold that mid tower. That is so important to map control.
Grizzly on the flank. Wind cuffs do go wide, but they've got 09 chained down. Redwood Rush is needed for him to get out.
And this is key here for Divine Intervention. Liliana was ahead of the Tulin. Now Tulin is going to catch up. They're even in gold, and that is the key here. They have to really start leveraging Liliana's late game skill power here, because if they don't, they're going to continue to fall behind. They're already 6K gold behind, TJ.
Does the Liliana really work, though, into a Tulin? Is that enough?
As long as you combo and you work together, because they have a lot of CC, and she can be very bursty once she has her, she has Boomstick and Orb of Magi, so she will have a decent amount of damage against the Tulin here.
You're just looking for the full stun chain, though.
Exactly. That's the only way. That's the only way I see Divine Intervention coming back, is they have to leverage that stun chain and that burst from Liliana, along with Valheim and various. They have really solid engages here that they can do, and if they don't execute this combo, I don't see them coming back against Nova.
No way back into the game except a perfect stun chain. Z.
Execution.
We'll have to play back last TV executed. All of Nova Esports are pressing forward across the map, specifically though the mid lane will be the pinnacle of the pressure. Mathroy and 09 need to play back, but they do get the wave clear. Breaker in the meantime will dive in, spend the Hunter's Mark, and drop Few low in their 1-1 duel.
Yeah, and look at that. Annette has finished Tomb of the Reaper there, so canceling out any type of regen. So Varus is going to be a little bit in trouble there when Annette starts dishing out a damage against him to cancel all that lifesteal that Varus normally gets to stay alive as long as possible.
Abyssal Dragon Enraged does get picked up by Nova Esports. They do have the full benefit of that team fight buff, which should mean they shred towers, especially with Sky there to defend.
Yeah, there's
Oh my
God,
goodness. Thunderbird, Vico barely survives. The tower's gone.
Yeah, that was such a smart play there, getting so much damage from the Shock and Awe and the Thunderbird onto Vico, forcing Liliana to then just back off.
09, Redwood Rush, he's got them all. Nature's Realm, it's not enough. Grizzly Q, the Hurricane Wall, it's 3,000 IQ.
Yeah, this is what we talked about before, DJ. When you go in, your team needs to be with you. That was such a great engage by 09. If his team was with him, they may have been able to turn that fight around in their favor.
Oh, Shock and Awe, once again, the same combo. This time, Poseidon's Thunderbird will find a kill, and Nova have cracked the high ground. They've cracked two. There's Sky rolling through the mid lane. Mathroy will try and contest, but they can't fight into this with a man disadvantage.
Sky's placement of the Shock and Awe is offering so much, not only damage, but zone out potential as well. They have to back off, and that ultimate basically zones everyone out, and they take the tower easily.
The final high ground, Breaker to stall. They've got the final high ground. There's the Nature's Realm. 09 still cannot tank through all that. And now Grizzly Q and the rest of the team are approaching with a Hurricane Roll to split up Fico. He's gone as well. The core itself is focused. Z and Grizzly Q, though, they don't have the minion wave just yet. They're finally falling. They've got Sky, though. And it will be Nova Esports grabbing the game and the win in game number 1.
Yeah, impressive play here by the 2 new additions there. Darkbreaker, you saw how he's able to juggle that aggro, bait all that damage onto him, leverage all of Victor's abilities to get away, and in Sky, those shock in all placement and ultimates, and the damage focus coming out, along with the combo from Grizzly Q and Poseidon has been phenomenal.